We're going to jump in. So here we go. Today on the Agent War Room podcast, we have two amazing individuals that I've gotten the pleasure to get to know over the last couple of months. They are literally the model of commitment. Gurmal has a background in finance and they moved into real estate right before the crash. People that got in a year or two before everything went to effectively hell in a handbasket aren't even in this business anymore, and they stuck it through. And this is really about the Singhs, their business, how they brought their kids into the business. They have 3 adult children, and what they've been able to do to ride out the different waves of the real estate industry. We're always looking to give people actionable takeaways. So like, what's real, what's today, what would you consider your superpower?
I don't have to mention real estate. They see it on my social media. They see it on my story. But if I'm calling and I genuinely want to ask someone how they're doing, and if there's anything I can do for them, I mean, I've never had anybody not ask me, how's real estate? You've got to call people that you know and love on them and mean it. You have to come from a place of servanthood, I would say.
You don't want to be a fungus among us. So what that literally means, you don't want to throw up on them. And so you just simply say, I have started a career in real estate. I'm really enjoying it.
If you give enough of what they want, then you'll get everything that you want.
99% of our business comes from our sphere. People we know, like, love, and trust. And they trust us the same way, and they like us.
We've got Gurmal and Julie Singh out of Sacramento. Just a little bit of a background on Gurmal and Julie. Gurmal is born in the U.S. His parents migrated over from Fiji, so from the beautiful Fijian Islands, and Julie came here in 1984 at the young age of 10. They've been married since they were 4 years old, which I don't know how, because she was actually 10 when she came here. But no, all jokes aside, they've been married for quite a long time. They are literally the model of commitment. And when I was going back and forth with them about, kind of their intro, she had put it in there that she is Gurmal's ride or die, which I super appreciate and love hearing stuff like that. So Gurmal has a background in finance and they moved into real estate right before the crash. Gurmal got into real estate. So that's, that again speaks a testament, because people that got in a year or two before everything went to effectively hell in a handbasket aren't even in this business anymore. And they stuck it through, and they looked at the opportunities ahead, flipped some homes, trained and recruited over 100 agents. They moved their business over to EXP back in the late 2010s, and now are over at LPT. And this is really about the Singhs, their business, how they brought their kids into the business. They have 3 adult children, and what they've been able to do to ride out the different waves of the real estate industry and create and maintain serious success. So thank you so much for being here today, Gurmal and Julie.
We are thrilled to be here. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So on the Agent War Room podcast, there's a couple things that we do. One, we always are looking to deliver real-time, right now takeaways, right? We've all been to those seminars, webinars, where somebody's speaking about how they built their business, and they say, well, we do a ton of marketing, we generate 1,000 leads a month, and we make this many calls, and that turns into this much business. You're like, okay, great. You just got off the webinar. You're like, what do I do? Where do I go for the 1,000 leads? How much do they cost? Are they free? Do I door knock? What do I do to actually do that? And then implement that follow-up procedure and everything else. So we're really looking to do it differently. We're always looking to give people actionable takeaways. So like, what's real, what's today? If you had an agent in your office that said, hey, I want to get something in escrow in the next 30 days, that's kind of the thing that we're looking for. So we're going to start off, and both of you guys could answer this individually, but what would you consider your superpower? What's the one thing that you do that makes you who you are?
Relationships. Gurmal and I, we spend our entire marriage, our entire lives doing in our community, whether volunteering within the community, but more so within our church community. And so we have built so many relationships with people. So if I started to just call and I just started to call to ask them how they're doing, I don't even have to mention real estate. I don't have to mention real estate. They see it on my social media, they see it on my stories, they see my testimonials from clients that we do business with. So I don't have to keep reminding them. But if I'm calling and I genuinely want to ask someone how they're doing and if there's anything I can do for them, I mean, I've never had anybody not ask me, how's real estate? How's
Mm.
real estate? How's the market doing? And that right there has gotten me so much more business than anything.
And the coffee dates.
Yeah, coffee dates. I do a lot of coffee
Yeah.
dates, lunches, a lot of things with women, a lot of, a lot of women's groups, things with a lot of women and other married couples. But you've got to call people that you know and love on them and mean it, not because you're calling them because I just want the business from you. You have to love on them. You have to come from a place of you care about them and you know, care about them as well as servanthood, I would
Yeah.
say.
Everybody wants something,
Mhm.
but if you're a brand new agent, I would say the best thing that you could ever do for yourself is find the people most influential or somebody that you think knows people and have coffee with them. Even if you don't drink coffee, just go hang out, talk to them. Don't bring up real estate. Just try to build a relationship. And if they ask you, what's this regarding? Because some people do, right? Because they're like me. I don't like to waste my time. So it's well. And and just say I'm trying to build relationships with people and just getting to know people a little better. And it's on me. And just treat them out to coffee. They will ask you during the conversation, what do you do now?
Mhm. For sure.
And
Yeah. Even if they're not in the market, right? They're going to say, "How's business for you? How are things
yeah,
been going?" And
Yes,
then you bring it up, and now all of a sudden they think about their
yes,
friend or their colleague that's potentially going to buy
yes.
or sell. So
That's exactly it. That's exactly what
yeah.
happens.
And you don't want to be a, what the word is, the statement is, you don't want to be a fungus among us. So what that literally means, you don't want to throw up on them. And so you just simply say, I've started a career in real estate. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying the process and all that I'm learning. They will then ask you, how's the market? It is a natural reaction,
Mhm.
even if they know the market.
Yeah.
yeah,
They
it's
all that.
it's a much better approach, right? I mean, if you're just talking conversationally, because you're asking them how their kids or families doing, you're asking them how their career is doing. They ask you the same thing back. You didn't have to, and no offense to coaches way back when, but the old campaign of, hey, if you knew somebody that was looking to buy or sell real estate, would I be the person you're going to refer to? You don't have to say that because as you start talking about it and you seem like you have relevant information of value and you never beat them over the head for that referral or for their own business, now they come back and want to give it to you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It's funny, right when you started talking about relationships, I thought of two things. One, my core values is actually an acronym. It's CARES, and the R in CARES is relationships for life. And it used to be relationships over transactions, but it's relationships for life because I don't even care about the word transactions in there. If I'm looking at everything from a relationship for life perspective, then that's it. And the second thing it reminded me of, and I'm going to try to channel my best inner Zig Ziglar, but if you if you give enough of what they want, then you'll get everything that you want. Right. So there you go.
You did a great job there. You nailed it.
Yeah, the guy from New York doing the Southern Zig Ziglar voice. I love it. Right?
I love the guy. I loved his preaching. Loved Jim Rohn, one of my teachers to this day. So yeah,
Yeah,
loves it.
excellent. So tell me a little bit about the trajectory of your business from getting into it in 2006, getting into the REO side, some flips, and really more than anything, you could kind of fast forward through that piece to some degree, but what are you doing now? What does your business look like now? I know you've got at least one daughter, and I know you've got two with licenses, but I don't know the dynamics of kind of the team, the family, and what you've got going on.
So we were watching the last episode of Landman, and
Love
the
that
guy
show.
on there was a guy on there owned a baseball company or something, a football
He
company,
was the owner of the Cowboys.
the
Yeah.
Cowboys. And he
Jerry
said to the
Jones.
guy, yeah, he said, "You make all this money, and for what purpose? Where are your kids now?" He goes, "I work with my children." And he goes, and every day I get to spend time with my children. So Julie and I have redirected our focus. So 99% of our business comes from our sphere, people we know, like, love, and trust. And they trust us the same way and they like us. Now we're looking at expanding our business. So we have that part of our business kind of honed down and constantly improving it. And now we're adding leads to it. Marketing for leads. Now we're looking at a bigger picture to where our kids can actually, since two of them are licensed, one is doing really well and she's working in part of the leads and she's getting good business out of it, but we get to work together. And now my other son, I'll draw him in as more business comes and I'm able to give him more business. So we can work together.
Awesome. And what lead sources are you tapping into to do this expansion?
So right now we've been practicing. I call it practicing because it's new to us. Zillow. We have Easy Leads, and then we have Facebook Marketplace. I think I like
No, it's not Facebook Market, it's Facebook ads.
Sorry, Facebook ads, and I like Facebook ads the best out of all of them.
All right.
Cost per lead's really low, and so you can make a lot of mistakes and learn from it.
Gotcha. Okay. And with Easy Leads, it was at Easy Home Search, Preston's company.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, they've got some amazing stuff going on there. So awesome. And so where do you see your business going from here with your kids entering it?
Well, I would like for them to eventually take over, and her and I can retire. that's the goal. Um,
The
but
funny thing is, I just can't see you ever retiring, Gurmal.
I'm super hyper ADHD type of guy, so
I can't ever see him retiring. I mean, he's always got to be doing something. He has to be moving. He has to be tinkering with something. So I can never ever imagine my husband retiring and sitting quietly somewhere.
well, I'm a hot rod nut. So I'm a car nut all the way, any car, but I'm mainly a hot rod guy. So I'd work on a hot rod or something, that'd be fun.
There you go. Hey, I got to step away from the camera for 1 second to share something with you here.
Uh-oh.
For all the So I just had somebody draw the rendering of my project that's going on in my garage right now. I'm doing a resto mod on a 1980 Trans Am.
Trans Am.
Okay.
Actually, somebody was trying to sell me a 78 just a couple of days ago. But I like the Trans Ams. They're really nice.
Yeah. So this one's so they were subframe cars, and this one's a full frame because I got the Roadster shop in Illinois to build the full frame 2-inch drop spindles. I'm going to bore people on this podcast, but it's going to be really cool, like a TV show car type. Cool.
So you put a full chassis underneath it.
Full chassis, LS3 6L80E transmission. It's basically going to be a 2020s car with the 1980 body and interior on it, but it's a 6-figure restoration.
Wow. Well, what's nice is putting a full chassis is because the unibodies, they can twist with all that horsepower.
Oh, yeah.
The chassis will hold it down pretty solid.
Yeah.
And it'd be very stiff. So, it'd be a lot of fun to drive.
And to all you Agent War Room people out here, we just switched to a car podcast now. So no mistakes. No.
Go back to real estate.
Yeah,
get back to the matter at hand. Okay, so because I could geek out on cars all day long. So tell me a little bit about again with the makeup of your current business. So you just started bringing in leads. What technology are you using? Because obviously being very sphere based, 99%, you said that's a lot of times there's kind of older school ways that are a lot easier. What are you
Yeah.
starting to implement in regards to technology, and what tools are you using, especially as we usher in things like AI and all this new stuff that is just simply amazing.
There's so many stuff out there, but I think the biggest key is for us to tweak our CRM to where the touches are being made. What was that company I just interviewed last week?
Zadelio,
No, Zudilio, not the one.
fellow.
Fellow. So
Yeah.
we were looking into Fellow to help connect with our current list of clients already. But
Mhm.
then right now, Julie has a whole thought in her head that she said, nope, this is what we're going to do. So I'm going to let her speak because she's the boss.
All
Sorry.
right.
Gurmal is great when he's in front of a client. Gurmal is great with the closings. I am the one that makes sure that he's got enough people to be doing presentations on,
Yeah.
and managing the database. But right now, what I'm looking at after having a demo done by Zudilio yesterday, the things that they're offering right now should like do what I'm looking to do with my database, especially my past clients who are now probably at a point where they're maybe thinking about selling, downsizing, or selling, moving out of the state. It would be nice to have what Zedelia has to offer to where they can look up their value.
So
And
fellow, right? Not Zudilio.
actually, Zedelia actually shared with us that they can do this
Okay.
for almost a fraction of the cost over a fellow.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was confused
It's
there when we talked about Zudilio and fellow, so I want to
yeah,
make sure the audience
no.
knows.
With Zudilio, they can offer instant value too.
Okay. Gotcha.
They do it just like that. They can offer instant value, and they can do everything a fellow can do, but more. I think a little bit more, and that is they'll constantly email to your database. They'll send out. You can get three values all at once. What I liked about them is the fact that they can buy the house. I just had this transaction just happen just last 2 months ago. $1.5 million house, like something like Zudilio will buy it for 1.2, relist it, resell it through us, and whatever it sells for within the difference between 30%, they will give back to the sellers minus 11, which I thought it was a great deal. But that's just the plug, I guess, for Zoo Deal. They should give us money for this.
Yeah. No, and really, yeah. So to pull it back, because just so everybody knows, we're not affiliates with any of these companies. We're just
no,
No,
giving
no,
the
no,
real raw
yeah,
deal of what we're using.
right,
So, but to distill it back a little bit, ultimately, you're now trying to reach back out to your
yeah,
database that you've
yeah,
been working with for years in
right,
a way that offers them value, in a way that shows them
right,
here's what your home may be worth if you have any considerations. I love companies, by the way, like, something non-real estate related, like Lower My Bills, and
right,
yet they are affiliates and they are making money off of it. But when they're able to show me that based on my credit usage, things of that nature, that this is a credit card I should have or a bank account that yields a higher return because I have money in the bank, then that's a benefit to me. So if we could show them as real estate agents what they might have the opportunities for. And by the way, a lot of these tools, they have that. It's not just, hey, here's what you could sell your home for. Here's the equity you have in your home, and you can unlock this equity and do other things with it, whether
right.
it's vacations or buy rental properties or what have you. So it may serve us, it may not. But that's the idea of coming from value and building those relationships.
we can just let our past database and client know that we're still here. For those who aren't on social media, it's just a tool for us, right? I mean, people call people they already know and they're comfortable working with. I would hate for them to call somebody else when I'm here for them.
Yeah, it's interesting, and I really want to kind of dig into this point with you here. Um, it's not released yet. I just recorded a fairly long form video. I do a lot of video on an agent to agent basis, very much coming from contribution. There's no call to action. I don't coach. I don't sell coaching. So there's none of
That's
that.
us.
So, hey, maybe it'll get me a referral down the road or something, or somebody will say, hey, there's an agent in Vegas needs to join a team. There's obviously there's some benefits to it, but But the video that I did yesterday, and it's funny because I have this little whiteboard on my desk that I jot notes down on, and the notes still on it. But the most recent time that Zillow released how many leads they generated and sold in a year was in 2016. And in 2016, they sold 16.9 million leads. Right now, that was Zillow. When you take pay-per-click, when you take realtor.com and then all the other vendors, and so many of them, right? ZBuyer, and I mean, the list goes on and on, HomeLight, so on and so forth. That number likely bubbles up to probably as much as 100 million. But, even if it's 30 or 40 million, this is what's really mind blowing to me. Last year, there were 4.1 million homes sold in the entire country. Right now, there's a buyer and a seller. So if everyone was represented, that's 8.2 million transactions. So there could technically be leads on each side. So 8.2 million potential transactions to happen. And there were 50 to 100 million leads sold. Right. And I might even be conservative on that number. So that means that a lead is being sold again and again and again, which means that almost everybody at some point is a lead. Here's the sad part to it. And this is what I want to dig into with you guys, because you are 99% sphere and relationship based. Every one of those people that was a lead somewhere is also some real estate agent's sphere of influence.
Yes.
Right.
How the heck do they ever become a lead? How did the agents fail to build a moat around their most prized possession, those relationships? So what is it that you're doing to build that moat so that your potential client, your friend, your friend that you're not even looking for business from today, but when they go to do business in a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, an investment home, selling a home, buying another home, how do you build that moat so they don't end up on the Zillows of the world or any other agent's website or some other lead source and get sold as a lead, as opposed to just knowing to come back to Julie or Gurmal?
Well, I wanted to share an interesting story. Just last year, somebody who was a sphere, not a past client, not never done business with us, but somebody I went to church with and stayed in touch with, but not so closely as people that has done business with us. And I saw on social media that she lost her aunt, who was like a mother to her. And it's just like me. I'm gonna make dinner anyway, so I'm gonna make extra and just drop it off. Don't worry about dinner today. Just dropped it off at the doorstep. Let them know it's there. She was very surprised. And 2 or 3 months down the road, she wanted to list her home. She listed with us. And I never thought that I would ever get business from her, because her realtor that had sold her the home stayed in touch with her very well. The mailers, the drip campaign, all of that good stuff. But who would have known that just by showing a little bit of kindness and delivering a dinner would land you something like that? So I just wanted to share that some of the things that you do that lets people know that you're a human being. You're not just a realtor who's always concerned about their next sale, but that you are a human being and you are kind. That goes a long ways.
And it's not the stuff that is noticed, it's the stuff that's not noticed that you do. And I think that's where people miss it, is they're always trying, like every time I look at Facebook, a realtor is always bragging about themselves. They never talk about their clients. We have 60 podcasts of client testimonials, and never once are we talking about, oh, we saved you money. Oh, we did this for you. It's all about them. It is their moment. And so you have to come at a place of giving and sharing. Another guy told me this. It was quite interesting. I'm sitting at a Brent Gov event. Brent Gov at that time did an event. What was his name? It's funny. What was his name? He had a heart attack. He gave me the card, birthday card thing.
Albert Chavez.
Guy by the name of Albert Chavez. We're sitting there talking, and he goes, I made $50,000 last year. He's a loan officer. He made $50,000 last year handing out $5 gift cards. And I go, $5 gift cards. I go, what do you do? He goes, well, every one of my clients, when it's their birthday, I send them a $5 Cold Stone ice cream gift card, and they take their kids out, and brought me $50,000. I thought that was a brilliant idea. I went to Cold Stones, bought 100 of them. No, I bought $100 of them.
But
I
don't
said,
say you
oh,
ate all the ice cream.
no idea about all them. And I looked at that, and I mailed it out. And the second month we did about, I think, $150. And I said, I'm not going to do this. This is expensive, right? Because you don't. So Julie's mailing them out to people on our Facebook, our friends and family on Facebook. She'll mail them out, write a nice little note. And if she saw something on Facebook about them, she'll write a personal note based on that, like if their kid had graduation or something. She'll go, just want to wish you happy birthday. Saw that your son graduated. Congratulations to him or her or your daughter, And we mailed that out. On the second one, I said, we're not going to do this anymore because it was costing money. That it wasn't a lot of money. It's only like $150, right? So it's not a lot of money, but it's money that wasn't coming to me, or the ice cream's not coming to me, or the coffee's not coming to me. So we switched it from ice cream to coffee. But it just so happened that month, right when I'm about to stop it, Julie gets a call. The lady was on speaker, and she was kind of crying on the phone because she said she was going to the mailbox and almost dreading it on her birthday because every year she would get a birthday card from her mom, but her mom had passed away. But when she opened up the mailbox, there was a birthday card there for her. It just happened to be from us. It was like God was showing her that, when her mom was gone, somebody else was there to be there for her. Now, we didn't sell her house or anything, but that touched my heart.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
So it went from $150 to $500 a month now.
So, yeah. So $5,600 of cards went out last year. 5,600 some change of cards went out last year, which brought in $100,000 in business.
Wow. That's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, the story speaks volumes, especially the prior story, right? Because, Julie, what I heard you say is, in a time of need, you made some extra dinner, you brought dinner over. But the critical piece that I heard you say before you said that you got, or right after you said that you got business, is that you thought you'd never get business from this person because she had a real estate agent. And that real estate agent was one of the good ones who kept in great touch and nurtured on a post-sale basis, which is fantastic. We wish all real estate agents did that because honestly, it would put a better mark on the industry, right? We want real estate agents to be looked at in high regard, not in not high regard. So you went into that with no ulterior motive. You went into that with true goodness and true kindness to just do the right thing for somebody, to be compassionate as a human. And as a result, business came back. But there was never a thought or a look at how am I going to get business off of this? And that's so huge, right?
Right.
People are afraid to call their sphere of influence and chat about it. And I was with Keller for a minute and went through the bold class. And I remember calling the sphere and what you had to say, right? Do you know anybody? And I'm not begrudging that at all. It absolutely works. But, from what I'm hearing from you in regards to relationships, just call your people to call your people. Just call to keep in touch. I mean, we should be doing it anyway. Even if we weren't, I'm in Las Vegas. If I was a dealer at the casino and I had nothing to say to anybody, I'm not saying, oh, come in. Caesars needs your business, if I'm calling people, I'm calling them to call them. And, I often I'll follow my own sword here. I often realize, man, I really haven't called some of my close friends in a while. Like life gets away from you, right? I've got, a girlfriend, 2 kids. I travel a lot. I've got a business. I've got, several agents on my team, and I'm always trying to, give time to them and take care of them. Life gets away from you. And the idea that you do the coffee dates, you reach out to people that you notice. I mean, even that, by the way, you knew she was in need. How? because you paid attention. You saw something on social, or you heard from a friend, or maybe you heard from them directly, but then you took action on it, right? So many of us, myself included, don't. I scroll through Facebook aimlessly and then don't pay attention, and I'm stuck in my world. And so that's admirable for sure.
Yeah, Sean Kokoska said something that was really powerful. Went to a training with him.
We did the bowl classes with him.
We did a bowl class, and he said something that was really powerful. He goes, when it comes to social media, you should hit 20 likes, right? Was it 20 likes? 5?
Yeah, it was, the things you do every day is part of the bold routine.
But he said 20 likes and make
5 comments.
5 comments. And it was so, when you don't know how to talk to somebody, or you're brand new and you have a hard time talking to somebody, try making 5 comments a day on people's posts. That's difficult, but it's a lot easier than picking up the phone call.
Stay away from the political ones, though.
Yeah. Nothing
yeah.
crazy, nothing crazy.
Yeah, we steer clear of that. Yeah.
Because we're realtors, right? We have both sides of the spectrum. We have junkies on this side, junkies on this side as our clients. So, they're our clients. We just have to stay.
I don't know if you want to use that word.
God, they're junkies. But sorry, it's not that serious, but it is serious to them, and I understand the importance it is for them. It's not that important to me, but we should stay very neutral because it's not important.
For sure.
We're only there to service one thing, and that's build relationships, make friends, and help them get a fair sell on their home or fair purchase on their home.
Yeah. So when it comes to those 5 comments per day, I love that. I think obviously Sean's brilliant, and I wish I would have taken his class. I mean, my pole teacher was pretty good. He was so good that I don't remember his name whatsoever. But but yeah, Diane and Sean, obviously, I mean, Diane created it. So comment 5 times per day. So I would imagine when you're looking for those, you're going into Facebook very intentionally, not to just scroll endlessly and waste time. You're going very intentionally, and you're looking for things that are of some level of personal nature. Now, personal doesn't mean tragedy, doesn't even mean celebration. It could be a vacation that they went on. It could be something that they're talking about that's of interest to them. It could be that they're making a small repair on their home, not for sale or anything else. The other day, I put in those overhead racks in my garage, and I took a picture. I never posted it, but I took a picture, and somebody could have commented. I mean, I'm sure people would have if I posted it, like, "Oh, super cool. Where'd you buy those?" Or "Oh, wow, that's gonna help with your organization," whatever it is. But now I'm going to notice the people that commented, right? So it's just that type of concept, I'm assuming.
Just like that. Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. All right.
It'll get you used to talking to people.
Yeah. And I don't know what it is, but whenever there's a death in the family, there seems to always be some sort of a talk of either selling a home, whether that particular person owns or their relative who's passed away. But just recently, like Monday's listing appointment that Gurmal's going to go on, the lady, her son, who's in his early 20s, committed suicide. And, I can't even imagine, I have kids in that age group too. And so again, dinner, and for her, it was like, oh my gosh, you thought of me. I don't have to cook dinner today. Well, yeah, that should be the last of your worries right now. You're trying to figure out what to do next, right? And so it's been a month now, and her husband are seriously considering moving out of state because it was her only son with her husband. And they want to be close with other family members because their kid's gone, And so that's the appointment we have Monday. But again, same thing. Those are some of the things, not that you just should be looking out for because you're expecting business, but in those times, if you can just show a little bit of kindness and that you care, that somebody's here for you, it means the world to people.
And if you're not a cook, just buy something.
DoorDash.
Yeah, other than pizza.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, Yeah, exactly. There's always a way to do it, right? There's a way to be kind and to help people when they're in need. So, yeah, no, I hear you loud and clear on that. That's fantastic. So really, when it comes down to it, you're working your sphere by making sure you're showing up when and where they are. Uh, I have a story. I've said this on a couple videos, uh, and I'll say it here, because the audience may be different, and I'm sure the two of you will relate to this. So I had a childhood friend. Fifth grade is when he moved to the States from Israel, and he went through school with me all the way till 12th grade. In high school, we kind of separated to different friends, still friendly, but, just not hanging out together a bunch. I moved to Las Vegas in 1993 when I was 18 years old. 6 years later, him and his wife moved to Vegas. We didn't really reconnect much. I knew he moved. We chatted every once in a while, went to a couple events that we were both at that we had interest in, but again, never really started hanging out. And fast forward to 2019, and I'm sitting in my corner office at a boutique real estate firm, and I was one of the top producers in the office. And um, people that know me know I have a phrase in Vegas, and it's that there's over 2 million people here, and I know all 50 of them. Because it's a very small, big town. It's kind of a weird
Okay.
town like that. So when you're connected, you're fairly well connected. And so another one of the agents in the office walked up to my door and peeked his head in and said, "Hey, Alex, I'm having an issue on a home that we're trying to close on, and I need an electrician. Do you know one?" And I immediately thought of a handyman, and they said, "No, it's a major circuit breaker or circuit box issue. It needs an actual licensed electrician." And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I don't know one. I know, and handyman that could do pretty good, right?" Now, ironically, fast forward, I think it was a day or two later, and this friend of mine that I'm talking about, all the way back from grade school, calls me and he says, "Hey, Alex, um, I just got back on my feet. Everything's settled with the divorce. He had gotten divorced a couple of years before, and he said, I think I'm ready to buy a house.
Mm.
Um, can you help me out with that?" And I said, absolutely. And we chatted for a couple minutes, and I got off the phone, and I immediately went, "Oh my gosh, he's an electrician." So what's interesting about it is that when somebody said electrician,
Mm.
the equal sign was blank on this side. But if
Mm.
you would have said, "What does your friend Yair do?" I would have immediately said equals electrician. So sometimes you relate something one way, but not the other.
Right.
Right? And I think we've all done it. I mean, I know I've done it since then too, but
Yeah.
that's the one that really stands out to me is I absolutely knew an electrician, but he wasn't top of mind. I
Right.
hadn't heard from him in a couple of years. And by the way, the reason he called me wasn't because he was just so good and his memory was just absolutely on point. It was because I'm on social media. I'm plugging things all the time. By the way, if most of you follow my social media, especially if you go back a few years, I didn't really post anything real estate. I never posted a just listed or sold or anything else. Now I have a social media manager and I moved from a business page to doing pretty much everything on personal. So you'll see more of it. But previously I didn't. However, I was still in my friends and my sphere of influence's faces by being pretty consistent with my efforts that they saw me all the time and they're thinking Alex. Even if they're only relating me with realtor and not realtor with Alex, they're still seeing Alex enough that when realtor comes up, they're like, "Oh yeah, Alex," right?
Mhm.
And yeah, so it didn't happen that way. So just for all of the audience, I mean, obviously, Gurmel and Julie have this down to a science that they are showing up enough, whether it's with dinners, with birthday cards, with Cold Stone, you know, uh, or coffee. They're showing up when and where, or and they're not actually showing up when and where their clients need them. They're showing up consistently. So when their clients need them, they never skipped a beat. They were showing up when their clients didn't need them. So that way, when their clients did, yeah, it's almost like I'll say one of the biggest advertisers in Vegas is personal injury attorneys, right? And one of these big personal injury attorneys, they're not advertising to the person that just got home and is laying on the couch going, "Man, that really hurt. That really hurt. I got in an accident 30 minutes ago. They towed my car. I Ubered home. Oh, wow. Call 702 injured. Let me, I needed one of those guys right now. No, they're
Right.
advertising consistently over and over again. So when that accident happens, the person goes, oh man, I'm hurt. I know who to call. 702 injured, and that's just the way that it works, right? So showing up consistently instead of trying to time it around when that client is going to actually perform business, just always being there is what it sounds like I'm hearing from you guys.
Yeah, insight in mind, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know if we answered your question. I mean, it's been a great business for us the last 19 years with our sphere and not having to spend a whole lot of money with marketing or buying leads.
Mhm.
And it's so funny because every time we would get our taxes done, our tax lady would ask, well, what did you guys spend on marketing? What did you spend on, and I'm like, that's it, what you see. She goes, that's it? Yes, that's it. And, she would be surprised that we spent such little money in marketing or lead generation. And now it's like we are trying to, not trying to, but we are investing into, getting more leads so that we can do quantum leaps in our business now that we have our daughter. And we want to now again build a team with LPT. And so at this point, we want to just go all in and be semi-retired in the next 2 years, work when we want to. So yeah.
Something where the kids can take over and we can just be there and coach and guide and direct,
Yeah.
More because everybody wants to tell you what to do. Nobody really shows you how to do it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So we're pretty much an open book.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'll wrap up with two questions. One, wow, we're gonna have to edit this because I just completely drew a blank in my head. That was good. Yeah. So editor, edit this.
Thinking about your Trans Am.
Yeah. They see it. Gotta go home and work on the car.
That's right.
I know what the final question is, but okay, I remember. Okay, so I'm going to end with two questions. I normally end with one, but I've got one more just to give the audience a little bit of semblance around this because we're talking a lot about how much business you do with your sphere. Without going into great detail or any private information about how much business, sides or volume are you doing in a year that you're getting out of your sphere.
We make $250,000 a year from our sphere.
Wow. Okay. So it's a sizable amount. And, they're in Sacramento, which I think is a pretty similar price point to Vegas, right? You're around 500,000.
Yeah. My average price is 550. Well, now it's gone up, but it's been 550.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So sizable amount. So you guys see, you could have an amazing career off of your sphere if you do the right things. And then the last question, as I mentioned earlier, we love the actionable takeaways. So 1 to 3 items, 1 to 3 things that if somebody's watching this right now, you say, okay, as soon as this ends, put down your phone, put down, close your computer, or turn off this tab on the computer and go do this, or 1 to 3 things that they should do right now that's going to make a difference in their business in the next 30 to 90 days.
A video text, quick video text, not even more than 30, 40 seconds long, a quick video text to people in your sphere right now. We live in such a world that anything positive will make somebody's day. So that
it's as simple as I'm just thinking of you. You are in my mind. If God puts a name in your mind, like right now we were talking, I have an old client that calls me all the time. Her name is Sarian. Sarian moved to Las Vegas, my home in Las Vegas. That's why I keep remembering. But she's in my mind. The moment we get off this podcast, my very first call is to her. Just say, "Hey, I was thinking of you. Your name came in my mind. Just want to see how you're doing."
Awesome.
And it's as simple as that. 5 calls a day is what you should be making. But if you can get off this phone,
not 5 calls. you want to at least make sure you speak to 5 people.
Well, yeah, if you speak to 5 people, but you can make 5 calls and just say, "Hey, leave a message. I was just thinking about you today. Your name came to my mind. I just want to say hello. I was thinking about you." I've been doing that a lot lately, and that's been a lot of fun. 'Cause I'm not a big talker to people like that one on one. I'm not very relational. Like Julie's over the top times 20 relational. I am not, quite the opposite. But that's been helping me a lot.
That
And the third thing,
you get in front of people. I mean, get together for coffees, get together for lunches, get in front of people. You just got to be around people. It doesn't always have to be business. You have to get around in your community, and people will start to get to know you. It's very important that you get to know who's around you. I mean, these are the people you're living with around you. So get to know them, get comfortable with them. You are, if you know you're the best person for the job as far as selling somebody's home or helping them buy the home, make sure they understand what type of person you are.
yeah.
Because if you're a good person, they should be using you. If you're a person that's going to be in their corner and make sure they do the right thing for them, they should be using you. So make yourself available for that. Don't be a secret agent. Like you mentioned that you wouldn't post much on the internet. Now that's also a little bit of a, like, sometimes, we all don't want to be annoying either, right? We don't want to get unfollowed or unfriended because we're annoying online. But you have to know where you need to be doing just enough to where you're posting maybe 3, 4 business, couple of personal, and things of that nature. But you have to be out there. I think once people understand what type of person you are, they decide whether they want to use you or not. But you have to put yourself out there. You can't get what you don't put out there.
At least one post a day would be nice. Some people post 5 or 10 times. It's annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, people shut you down. Yeah, I mean, one post of
Right,
family,
don't get
one,
muted, right? Don't get
yeah,
snoozed for 30 days.
right.
Yeah,
One post. If you want to do a real estate post, just go visit a house, take a picture of the inside. You don't have to ask permission to take a picture of the inside. Just don't tell them what the address is. So this is a nice house, and just do it quick
for
and
sure.
go, and that's it.
One of the benefits to doing these podcasts, by the way, is, I'm always thinking about it kind of like you, Julie. Like I'm bringing the dinner just because it's the right thing to do. So I'm doing these podcasts for the benefit of all the people that are going to be watching it. And I rarely think about, hey, what am I going to get out of the podcast? But you really just hit on something that speaks volumes to me. If I were to share my Google Calendar with you right now, you would see for the last month that I work through lunch, and I might have a little tiny spot in lunch, but most of the time I either bring a packed lunch to because I stick to my lifestyle diet, right? But a lot of times I just have my NutriBullet over here, and I do 2 scoops of protein powder, a banana, some almond milk, and I make my protein shake, and then I'm right
That's
back to
awesome.
it because. Yeah, so I'm a little bit, there's probably a medication for somebody like me. I'm a little bit of a work zealot. I enjoy being at the office. I enjoy work. And with that, I always think I don't have the time to go out to lunch. And there is a book that I was introduced to years ago by a gentleman by the name of Keith Ferrazzi, and it's called Never Eat Alone.
Mhm.
And I don't think about going out with my friends or just people that I've met or just other colleagues, even other agents, uh, from the perspective of, hey, I should be calling, 2 times a week, 3 times a week, whatever it is. Right? If you could do 5 days a week because you're not as busy on your schedule, maybe you're an agent that's up and coming and you've got more time. But going to those lunches, it's all about building that relationship. And it's not about asking them who they know or what business they have or if they're thinking about real estate. It's just about getting deeper in that relationship because once again, then you're on their mind. You are top of mind. You are insight in mind. And lots of great things will come from that. And you just reminded me of that. And I'm going to make it an effort in my day to or in my weeks to at least invite a couple people out to lunch, and get at least 1 or 2 lunches on the books every week where I can just go sit down, meet with the people, break away from the office for an hour and a half, with drive time, and really just bolster and build and make stronger those relationships.
Yeah.
So
You
thank you
never
for that.
know how. I'm sorry, go ahead. I apologize.
No, I said so. Thank you for that. That was all.
Oh, you're welcome. You never know who you're networking with when you're doing that. You really don't, because um, when they see you taking the time out to do that, they can see your kindness in that, and you're not expecting anything back. So it's just a whole new situation there versus, if you're always in their face about real estate and they know that the whole reason you're meeting is because of real estate. But if you're genuinely trying to build a relationship, they'll see that in you. They will see that in you. And we've been in business full time for the last 19 years, not needing to find other ways of making income because of the relationship building.
Our first year in real estate, I was licensed July of 2006. My 6 months first year in real estate, we closed 16 transactions. And I didn't know what I was doing. You see, I didn't have a clue about what I was doing. It was because people trusted us, liked us, but they knew no matter what, Gurmal would do the right thing.
Yep.
So whether he knew what he was doing or not didn't really matter. At the end of the day, he's going to do the right thing. I lost a person's deposit because a broker told me he put the wrong check mark on the wrong box back in the early days. He had a $2,000 deposit in. I paid that guy back because I made that mistake out of my own pocket. Because if you always do the right thing will always come back to you.
It's karma. That's it. So, well, excellent. I really appreciate your time today. This was an absolute pleasure, and I know people are going to get tremendous value out of this. So, guys, as you're shutting this down, go and make your videos. Go call, get on the phone with 5 people, set up some lunch dates, and just build that moat around your sphere, and make sure that they don't become a lead on somebody else's website.
That's right.
We'll see you soon. Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.